Long ago, in a quiet village called Duru, people whispered about a strange woman who lived near the forest stream. No one knew where she came from. Her name was Obiora, tall, graceful, with eyes that shone like the moon on water. Every morning, she fetched water from the stream before sunrise and vanished before others woke. The villagers often saw her footprints in the wet sand, small, neat, but they always ended near the thick bush, as if she walked into the earth itself. Children feared her, but the elders said softly, "Some souls do not belong fully to our world." One day, a young merchant named Chidubem arrived in Duru to sell colorful cloths and fine beads. He had traveled far, yet something in the calmness of the village made him stay longer than planned. Then, one early morning, he saw her by the stream, the woman everyone talked about. Her beauty caught his breath. The golden light touched her face, and for a moment, it felt like time stood still. She smiled shyly, and the sound of the flowing water seemed to whisper her name again and again, Obiora. Obiora. Chidubem began to look for her every morning. Sometimes he brought her fruits, sometimes he just sat nearby and watched her fill her pot in silence. The villagers warned him, "She is not like us. Stay away." But his heart had already chosen. Obiora spoke few words, yet her eyes carried deep stories. When she smiled, it felt like peace wrapped around him. Soon, they laughed together, and she began to meet him more often. The forest, once silent, now had songs of love in its wind. As days turned to weeks, gossip spread. Old women shook their heads, saying, "No good will come from loving the woman of the forest." Some claimed they saw her talking to the moon, others swore they saw a shining scale on her ankle when the sun hit her skin. But Chidubem didn't care. He told himself love was stronger than fear. "If she is strange," he said, "then maybe I am meant to understand her." Love blinded his eyes, and even the wind could not carry away his courage. One evening, as the sun melted behind the trees, Chidubem took Obiora's hands. "Marry me," he whispered. Her eyes filled with light and tears at the same time. "You don't know who I am," she said softly. But he only smiled and said, "I know what my heart feels." She looked at him for a long time. Then she nodded slowly. "If the gods allow it," she said, "I will be yours." The sound of the stream grew louder, almost like the spirits were listening to their promise. The village prepared for the wedding with joy and wonder. Even those who once gossiped now smiled. But that night, as Obiora sat by her hut, a reflection in a bowl of water began to ripple on its own. She heard a voice, deep and ancient, whisper, "You cannot hide forever, daughter of the river." Tears rolled down her face. She loved him deeply, but she knew love could not change what she was. Still, she prayed to the moon, hoping that for one night, she could be fully human, just to be his bride. The drums beat, the dancers sang, and flowers filled the air. Obiora walked through the crowd in a bright red wrapper, her beauty glowing like morning light. Chidubem couldn't stop smiling, he felt like the luckiest man alive. When she spoke her vows, her voice trembled. "Whatever I am yours." He nodded without fear, holding her hands tight. Everyone clapped and cheered, never knowing that a spirit was standing among them, trying to live like a woman. That night, after the laughter and songs faded, Chidubem led his new wife to their hut. The moon shone through the window, gentle and silver. But Obiora grew quiet. "Please, blow out the lamp," she said. "I want to love you in darkness." He did as she asked. But when he reached for her hand, he felt it turn cold and smooth, like wet stone. Then came the sound, a soft hiss, and the rustle of scales. He froze, heart pounding. As moonlight slowly revealed her true form. Before him lay not the woman he married, but a great shining serpent with eyes full of sorrow. She spoke in a trembling voice, "I am cursed by the river spirits. I take human form to seek love, but I can never keep it." Chidubem fell to his knees, tears in his eyes. "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked. "Because you would have run," she whispered. "And I wanted to feel love, even for a short time." At dawn, Chidubem's cry shook the village. People rushed to the hut and saw the serpent curling around his legs, weeping like a human. Fear filled every heart. The chief shouted, "Kill it before it kills us." But Chidubem stood before her, spreading his arms. "She is not evil," he cried. "She only wanted love." Yet stones were already being thrown, and fear was louder than truth. And that was the night everything changed. The moment the villagers raised their stones, and Chidubem stepped forward to protect the serpent that once wore the face of the woman he loved. The story of the forest bride took a turn no one in the village would ever forget. But this is only the beginning. What happens next? Will Chidubem survive the wrath of his people? Will Obiora remain a serpent forever? Or is there a truth hidden deeper than anyone has seen? To find out what unfolds in part 2. Sparkles, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you don't miss the next chapter of this mystical African folktale. Part 2 is coming. And trust me, you won't want to miss it.